Would you like to win some free art of one of your characters? Do you like drawing or writing? Then you'll want to join the TD-Era Character Design Contest. The Transdimensional Era Novel Roleplay Forum needs more examples of the Zephyr race, a high-flying, magical people that have several sets of beautiful wings. What better to fill that void than with a contest? All winners get art in the official Roleplay Forum style, and that art will represent the race in any of its hybrids. Come join the contest. Alright, let's go over some important dates. Submissions will remain open from August 1st to August 31st. Judging will be from September 1st to September 18th, and winners will be announced on September 19th. Now, before we begin, I'd like to make mention of what exactly I'll be going over in this video, and there will be timestamps in the video description. In order will be awards and prizes, rules and requirements, Zephyrian lore, and for the writers who are joining, the writer submission form. All winners will receive mostly the same prizes, specifics varying. All prizes will be done by Kieran, and there is a contest Trello link in the description to be used to keep track of the works in progress. I'm going to go a little out of order with listing the prizes, saving the forum exclusive prizes for last. As mentioned before, winners get free artwork of their winning character done in the official TDR style. If you happen to win, Kieran will ask you ahead of time to schedule a Common Grounds Discord session so that he can live stream your piece as he makes it, so that you can give input and direct him to avoid any character design discrepancies. A microphone won't be needed. The finished piece will be posted to Kieran's DeviantArt and the TDR DeviantArt group, and will be sent privately to the winner via Discord. You did speed paints! There's 3 different kinds, depending on which category you win. Writers will be receiving a reading of their winning submission over the speed paint of their character, and artists will be getting a music-only speed paint. All winning characters, no matter the category, will get to be part of an official reading of the TD-Era lore. All winning characters will also be featured on the official lore pages as prime examples of the race or hybrids of the race. However, only one male or female character will represent the race as a whole. Early forum access and forum rewards. These are only for the winners who even want to roleplay in the forums with their winning character. They can join the forum prior to opening and submit their character to participate in the roleplay. If a winner chooses to do this and successfully submits that character to the forums, the character will receive a special icon beside their name. The winner will also receive temporary, single-use, class licenses, which allows them to create special characters with, and they will be able to join the official Transdimensional Era Discord to keep in touch with other role players of the forum. Submission rules. Do not submit characters other than your own. That's not a joke, it's theft, even if it's a popular IP. Do not submit joke character designs unless they follow the lore perfectly. If the joke character follows the lore perfectly, then I will have a reason to take it seriously as a submission. Do not break the rules of the Common Grounds Discord. It has a separate set of rules, so read them before you post there. Add trigger warnings if your entry has anything psychologically dark or could potentially trigger someone. While I have no triggers, my judges and other contestants or any lurkers might. Keep everything safe for work. That means PG-13 is as high a rating as your piece should go. You can make your character sexy without being too revealing. Be a good sport if you lose. There will be more contests in the future. Breaking the submission rules can not only get you banned, but potentially blacklisted from future contests. Aside from rules, I would actually like to share a few tips that can up your chances of winning this contest. Make sure that the characters you design have their full amount of wings according to the lore requirement of their age. From ages 1 to around 17 to 24, they'll have a single pair of wings. Ages 18 to 25 is when, at some point, they'll sprout their second pair, which are usually the bottom wings. At age 100 to 199, they'll have all 3 sets of their wings. Adult male Zephyr need to be 18 or older and masculine with matching gender and pronouns. They don't have to be buff, just obviously look like a guy. While adult female Zephyr need to be 18 or older and be stereotypically feminine with matching gender and pronouns. This is a surefire way to win those 2 categories, as they will be the base example for the male and female Zephyr that future role players will be able to build their characters off of. The hybrid categories are not bound to these stereotypes and are allowed to break the gender norms. Stick to the lore given as closely as possible when designing your character, but you can exploit loopholes in the lore. There are loopholes that we have purposely placed for role players, and you, as a contestant, can take advantage of. Submit to more than one category. There's 5 total, and you can submit once per category, so get to it. Ask questions in the Discord group or send questions to Kieran if you are unsure about something or if you're lost. Kieran wants to make entering the contest as easy as possible, despite the amount of lore that must be followed. So those are my tips for winning, and I hope it will help you if you plan on joining the contest. There are 2 submission types, and they are as follows. Art submissions need to be an image as large enough to see details, but the exact size is up to you. The image's file type will need to be either GIF, PNG, or JPEG. Writing submissions will require a Google account. There's a specific form that must be followed out and submitted as a Google Doc link. If you plan on submitting written entries, please make sure that all of them are set to public. As for the categories, while you can submit to all categories at least once, only one of your pieces will be able to win if it makes it to the final round of judging. The categories are the following: Adult Male Zephyr, Adult Female Zephyr, Mewah Zephyr Hybrid, Artrune Zephyr Hybrid, and Sil'nyy Zephyr Hybrid. They'll all have their own lore when it comes to anatomy, and that will be coming up soon. How and where to submit? 1. Join the Common Grounds Discord. Link is below. 2. Once you have joined, under Zephyr Contests there are several channels, art submissions and written submissions. 3. Post your entry within the correct thread. Attach any details you want to your submission post, and not separately. This information can be any required trigger warnings. If any of the links don't work, leave a post on this video to let me know. Feel free to discuss submissions within the channels, but please do not post anything other than your entry within the threads. Thank you. Artificial intelligence warning. AI submissions are not allowed for this contest. If AI artwork or AI written work is submitted, it will automatically be disqualified and the artist or writer will be blacklisted from this and future contests. This could be disputed via live stream on Discord. If it is discovered that an AI submission was picked during judgment, it will be voided and the next best entry will be selected instead. Finally, time for the lore that you can use to design your character. The general appearance of your character is first. Zephyr and most of the hybrids will typically have human skin colors. This includes pure white albino and pure black melanin. Do your best to avoid racial stereotypes when designing your character, as your entry may seem like a racist joke and be removed from submissions. You can also be banned or even blacklisted. Color of the skin is accompanied by things like freckles, moles, vitiligo, and other skin conditions. While Sil'nyy Zephyr hybrids can also have human skin colors, they can also have Sil'nyy skin colors too. Hair color and eye color can be whatever you want them to be. You can have multicolored hair or strange colors like purple or pink. Irises can be the standard one color, or they can be partial or complete heterochromia, which are when the eyes are 2 different colors. There's no limit to clothing colors, but styles of clothing must match currently available time periods and their clothing styles. Real-world places, let's say Rome and Greece, don't exist in the transdimensional era lore, but there are most likely similar places. A few dress styles that we do have are feudal Japan, cowboy, Wild West wear, Viking and ancient Celtic garbs, Victorian and Renaissance suits and gowns or dresses, ancient Egyptian and Arabian clothing, caveman, barbarian knights in gladiator armor, ancient Roman, Greek robes, and classic pirate and bandit clothing. I'm sure there are more that can fall into or between those styles, but if you don't see anything you like, just ask. As for the anatomy of the Zephyr race, before I begin, you need to know that any images, shapes, colors, and patterns for the wings can vary, and each set of wings you'll see are only examples of what you can do. Now that that's said, let's begin. The Zephyr are the second smallest race in Novio and stand at a mere 4 feet to 4 feet 11 inches tall. They have large eyes and short pointy ears that have decent articulation, being able to pivot and turn at extreme angles. They can have up to 3 sets of wings, as mentioned prior. They are born without wings, but get their first set at age 1, get their second set when they become an adult around 18 to 25, and their third set at 100 years. There are 4 hereditary wing types that they can have. Brittle, which are your iridescent insect-like wings. Soft, which are butterfly or moth-like wings. leather, which are bat-like wings, and feather, which are bird-like wings. Wing types cannot mix. Zephyr can walk on clouds because of the magic in their wings. They can also live up to 199 years and never visually age. They actually stopped aging at the same time they became an adult. While wing types cannot mix, that is, there can't be one wing that's leather and another that's brittle, they can combine it. Some butterflies have partial transparency, and some dragons from IPs have feathered wing claws. Ever seen transparent furry wings that look like feathered wings? Yeah, you could do that too. The Mewah Zephyr hybrid is between 6 feet 6 inches to 8 feet tall. Length and shape of their ears is close to Mewah's but falls just a little short. Their ears, like the Zephyr, are articulated. Their face is that of a Mewah. Like the Zephyr, this hybrid does not have wings when they are born, but instead get them when they turn 1. This is the only set of wings they will ever have, and they are small, just barely breaching their shoulders in length. Despite not being able to fly, they can still cloud walk if they could ever get close enough to a cloud. Thanks to the Mewayan heritage, this Zephyr hybrid can live up to 500 years old, and they age gracefully, barely showing signs of their age until their later years. Artrune Zephyr hybrids are around 5 foot 2 inches to 5 foot 6 inches. Their ears are the same size and shape as an Artrune, minus the pointed tip. These hybrids have the same facial structure as our Artrune parentage. These hybrids are born with their wings, and they start out small, but they grow as the Artrune gets older, usually reaching a wingspan 3 times their height by age 20, where they finally stop growing. Artrune hybrids can live up to 150 years. Their wings are too heavy for them to fly because the skeleton on their wings aren't hollow. Unlike the rest of the Zephyrian hybrids, the Sil'nyy Zephyr hybrid doesn't really look like either of their parents when it comes to anatomy. They look more like an Artrune, even reaching only around 5 feet 2 inches to 5 feet 6 inches tall. The only indication that they're related to either of their parents, other than hereditary genes, are their ears and wings. Their ears look like a perfect cross between their parents' ears with no articulation. They also don't have tusks like their Sil'nyy parent, but instead have 1 to 2 large bottom fangs that will sometimes protrude when their mouths are closed. Their skin color can come from either of their parents, Zephyr or Sil'nyy skin colors. Sil'nyy colors include gray, orange, brown, blue, and green. These hybrids can only live up to 200 years old. They also start aging rapidly, starting at 85, resulting with very little to no meat on their bones, gray hair, sunken eyes, and many wrinkles. Despite the way they look in their elder years, they can easily rival any Sil'nyy in contests of strength. Male hybrids have small horns that range in width, length, and texture. They are born with wings, and they are very small, easily hidden underneath clothing. Because they are so small, they cannot fly, but like other Zephyrian hybrids, they can still walk on clouds. Magic studies of the transdimensional era forms aren't always going to align one-to-one with any known magic rules of games or series you may know. Furthermore, it's not required that your character has a magic study at all. Magic studies are optional, but if you want one for your character, then pause to give them a quick read when they appear on screen. It's optional to have 2 total magic studies, but there are special rules in place for that, and the link will be on contest information if you're interested. Zephyr and their hybrids are part of the Magilus class, which means the type of magic they can study is restricted. The ones I'm going to list are the only ones available to them for now. Alchemist, Diviner, Enchanter, Healer, Illusionist, Necromancer, Runescribe, and Sorcerer. Archangel is a special magic study that only the Zephyr can do. This means that Zephyr hybrids are unable to tap into this kind of magic. Professions are also optional for your character. They don't actually need one. They could be a child that's too young to hold a job, a homeless person, or someone who lives off of their parents' wealth. Some professions listed are more about what you are willing to do to get coin, rather than an actual job. There are some professions that are an umbrella for even more professions. If you don't see a profession you think your character would have, feel free to send Kieran a message. The professions that we have so far are accountant, artificer, artist, and under artist is architect, novelist, painter, poet, sculptor, and sketch artist. There's authority, which also has jailer, warden, judge, and law enforcement under it. Chef, detective, engineer. Harvester has several under it, which is farmer, fisherman, gardener, gatherer, and hunter. There's also keeper, which has barkeeper, historian, innkeeper, librarian, shopkeeper, tailor, and traveling merchant. Mercenary has assassin, bodyguard, bounty hunter, poacher, scavenger, and thief. There are 2 for mortician, and those are coroner and funeral director. Performer has actor or actress, bard, dancer, and minstrel. Pirates include captain, quartermaster, sailing master, gunner, boatswain, surgeon, cook, carpenter, and cabin boy. There's also a practitioner, prospector, religious ministry, and acolyte, preacher, and priest. War marshal has field doctor, smithy, tactician, and warrior. And lastly, because this one was created just for the Zephyr race, we have 3 unique professions: seraph, anti-seraph, and honorary seraph. These guys are the Zephyrian military and are mostly made up of Zephyr who try to restore and keep balance of the universe, something we'll be going over in more detail soon. Honorary seraph are those who are either Zephyrian hybrids or are other races that have volunteered to help the seraph. While they don't have uniforms in the technical sense, all 3 of these professions wear a seraph emblem, which is the archangel symbol from the magic study. Depending on which profession it is, they also wear specific colors. Seraph and honorary seraph wear mostly white with silver and blue accents. Anti-seraph and aligned honorary seraph wear mostly black with gold and red accents. At this point, those who are going to submit art entries don't need to stick around, but they're free to do so if they want. Zephyr have 2 names, a first and surname, and if they are in the military, then they are addressed with a title, based on their preferred gender, by younger Zephyr or Zephyr that are lower ranking. Both the first and surnames follow the same pronunciation rules, but surnames have another rule with special conditions. Seraph titles are only for the Zephyr that are in the military, which includes seraph, anti-seraph, and honorary seraph. The titles are as follows: mother, female if high-ranking; father, male if high-ranking; brother, male if older than speaker but not high-ranking; and sister, female if older than speaker but not high-ranking. Pronunciation rules are: unless the vowel O is used at the beginning of a name or has an L before it, is pronounced whoa. If it is followed by an R, then it is pronounced war. An I followed by an A is always pronounced ya. The combination of letters EL cannot be located anywhere in the first name. The combination of letters EA is always pronounced A. An E or A followed by an R is always pronounced air. TE or TTE at the end of a name is always silent. L followed by an O will make a yo sound. An I trapped between 2 consonants will automatically be pronounced I. TH is always silent when it is in the middle of a first name. And the surname rule is: must contain the combination of letters EL upon marriage, not prior. Doesn't matter if it's at the front of the name, at the back, or in the middle. The Zephyr race believes in universal balance. The universe needs to have an equal amount of good and bad in it. The Seraph were created to ensure it remains balanced. Current Seraph belief is that there is too much bad in the world. Zephyrian orphans, hybrid or not, are raised by Seraph and can later join. They are cherubs or squires of the Seraph. Other Seraph ranks include first rank, angels, which are novices and greenhorns. This rank is for the honorary Seraph and as high as a rank as an honorary can get. Second rank are the principalities. They teach the basics to those under them. The third rank is dominions. They work directly under the top rank. They have groups of angels and principalities under their command. The highest rank is known as seraphim. They're military generals that work directly with the thrones of the Urspite government. Anti-seraph and aligned honorary seraph believe there's too much good in the world and set out to do bad things to fix it. The honorary seraph can join the different anti-factions. The blood faction causes physical pain to others or themselves. The frog faction doesn't mind being talked down to or treated differently because of their race and will do the same to others who think they deserve it. The gnats faction promote and enjoy public humiliation, will often shave their heads. Flies faction enjoys the pleasures of the world, like eating for flavor even if the food is unhealthy, and they practice procrastination. Livestock faction destroys excess food if it's not being used for the homeless or starved. They're known to destroy restaurant and tavern reputations in retaliation for their food wasting. They will give their food to others if others are in need. The Loyal's faction has bad hygienic practices and are often sick. They will spread illnesses and diseases to those who are rich or in power. Hill faction will destroy mansions, statues, and plaques that were in dedication to rich people. Locust faction create blockades to prevent trade or reroute the goods to areas that need it more. Darkness faction purposely diverts hatred and credit of the other factions to themselves and promotes themselves as an unbeatable force. They do this so other factions can live their lives more peacefully. Then lastly, there's the Firstborns faction. Assassins that are only needed if important figureheads are heading down the wrong path, whether it's their own kingdom or a foreign one. They are the top dog of the anti-seraph, even though there's so few of them. Writers are expected to submit an entry form. It's a character sheet they need to fill out based on the lore. I'll be going over the directions for each field and tips to help writers with their submission. First thing writers ought to fill out is the character's race. This can help determine other things. So the races are Zephyr, Mewah Zephyr Hybrid, Artrune Zephyr Hybrid, or Sil'nyy Hybrid. Once the race is determined, we can get back to the first field, which is the name. This needs to be the character's full name, which according to the lore provided is the character's first and surname. If you want their name to sound a specific way, follow the name pronunciation rules for names and titles. If you want your character as part of the military, add their military title to the front of their name, which is before both their first and surname. The next field is age. This is determined by the race you chose. If you plan on submitting a Zephyr, ensure that is 18 or older, and they can be all the way up to 199 years old. Their second set of wings appear around 18 to 25, but their third set appears at the age of 100. The Mewah Zephyr Hybrid can live up to 500 years of age. Artrune Zephyr Hybrids can live up to 150 years, and their wings don't reach their full size until 20 years old. Sil'nyy Zephyr Hybrids can live as old as 200 years. Don't forget to check what each hybrid's age progression looks like, especially if you plan on making your character on the older side. Appearance requires 140 words to 200, and is also partially determined by the race you chose. Uses the foreign lore of appearance and anatomy to help fill this field. The description of your character should include the following: eye colors, skin colors, don't forget that Sil'nyy Hybrid can add special colors, clothing style and colors, please make a detailed description of everything they wear, hair colors, hairstyle, ear shape and length, Zephyr and their hybrids all have different ears, wing type, please make a detailed description of these as well. Keep in mind that the wings will be a different size and mouth depending on the race. Body shape. As a reminder, if you are trying to win in one of the Zephyr categories, not a hybrid, then it's best the body shape highlights masculinity or femininity with descriptive words. It's up to you which ones to use and how far you want to lean into the stereotypes. Height is the next field. The height of your character also depends on the race you chose for them. Height needs to be in feet and inches. The following are the height averages for each race. Zephyr is 4 foot to 4 foot 11 inches. Mewah Zephyr Hybrid is 6 foot 6 inches to 8 feet. Artrune Zephyr Hybrid are 5 foot 2 inches to 5 foot 6 inches. Sil'nyy Zephyr Hybrid are 5 foot 2 inches and 5 foot 6 inches. Gender is next. Gender is commonly male or female, but there's all sorts of descriptors nowadays. If the character is trans or anything other than the gender they were born as, add born male or born female after their gender, so we can fully grasp their identity. As a reminder, Zephyr needs to be either male or female if you want to win. Hybrids can be anything. The field after gender is pronouns. Common pronouns are he, him, she, her, they, them, but there are many more. A winning Zephyr entry will need to have pronouns that match their gender. So if it's a male, then their pronouns would be he, him. I've grouped magic, study, and profession together for simplicity. These are both optional to fill out. For more details, please refer to the respective lore information. As a reminder, if you can't find a magic, study, or profession that you want, just ask Kieran. Hobbies and talents is the next field in line. This is what your character does or likes to do in their spare time. So questions to start your brainstorming on your character's hobbies and talents. Does your character play an instrument or two? Does your character like to read or write? Does your character like to draw or dance? Does your character collect rocks or daggers? Does your character like to train in their downtime? Are they obsessed with wheels or cats? Feel free to get creative. Now we're going to get into the much harder fields. First up is personality. Like appearance, this field needs 140 to 200 words. There are also some questions you can answer to help. What is your character like? How do they interact with others? How do they act when they're alone? Next is belief and philosophy. Like the last one, needs 140 to 200 words. It shouldn't be solely based on the religion and needs to take into account your character's personal values alongside the culture they were raised in. The religion and belief section of the Zephyrian lore can help out a bit with this field. Childhood and or recent history is the last of the fields that are required to be 140 to 200 words. We want to know as much as you are willing to give. Some questions that can help you are: did anything of significance happen when they were little? What was their childhood like growing up? Were they a loner and or having trouble making friends? Was their childhood complicated? How? Have they recently moved? Have they found love? Did they discover something about themselves recently? While main location, social, and government of the Zephyr race were not included in this contest, it can still be accessed and used if you believe it will help you fill out this field. Only describe cities and villages in this field. Never name them. Not unless they grew up in Earthspike, which is a city with Viking-like architecture that the Zephyr created at the top of an island of Mesa. Extra details is another optional field and doesn't need to be filled out. If you intend to fill it out, the max amount of words you can have is 200. This field is typically used for information that we didn't ask for that you might want us to know about the character. Examples would be their weapon or other outfits they may wear. And with that, I can't wait to see what you come up with for this contest. The next video that's scheduled to be released is an update to our Beastiary. I hope to see you again soon.